Sag, so in January for you, what I got from your sign channeling was there's going to just be a little bit of more introspection, more of a buoyant optimism that you have might be tested, and you might be really centered more in that focus that Sagittarius is known for. Communication can be a little more challenging this month. Our planetary alignments that are happening that most likely will affect you, Mars, which is a very fiery sign, such as Sagittarius, is retrograde in Cancer, which is not a fiery sign, which is a water sign. And so that's a clash in itself. Mars wants to push forward and drive and is more of a logic, and logical sign in Cancer is more of that emotional homebody type sign, or energy. And so it's like this fight between love and logic, or heart and mind, and really trying to balance that out. The same thing goes for the North Node shift that's happening from Aries, a fiery sign, and Libra to Pisces and Virgo. Again, it's about really digging deep into the emotions, bringing what needs to be brought to the surface, and then balancing that out with the pragmatic, practical, logical side of Virgo. We want to live on our North Node, which is our destiny. Our South Node is where we're comfortable. And whenever there's any type of alignments on the zodiacal wheel, it teaches us how to become more balanced between what we're comfortable in, South Node, and what we need to try and balance out and perfect that we haven't perfected yet, which is in our North Node. For you in particular, it might seem a little counterintuitive, this period of time of introspection and fine tuning, because you are a fire sign. You just kind of have to expect that and just roll with it, because I know that you'd rather have plans of a full speed ahead expansion being the Sag and the focused hunter that you are. All right, so what message do you have for Sagittarius? You might be traveling, moving, change of direction. There's a lot of that happening. This is a 30 card, which is a 3. So could be 3 decisions involved, 3 different directions that you could potentially go. Let's see what else here. Good fortune. Nice. That's a 4 card. So moving from maybe try to 4, which is stability, right? It's always more stable on a 4-wheeler than a 3-wheeler, they say. I think this is through opening emotion, becoming more vulnerable, because this is a form of a green color. I know it's more yellow, but these are both on that side of the green tinting and the green coloring, which is heart chakra. Decisions being made regarding emotions, or an emotional decision being made that has maybe not been seen. The emotions are coming to the surface. It could be because something, this is like the Wheel of Fortune. So something's turning, there's good fortune, there's good opportunity, and a good turn of events for you. Oh, look at that. Look at all three shades of green, different shades of green, different transitions of the heart, maybe heart or relationship, or the way that you feel about something. And then the Wheel of Fortune is turning this into going from unstable to stable to an ending. And that's kind of way that 2024, the ending of 2024 into 2025 is happening. As I have said in all the other videos, 2025 is not going to allow for anything that is not finished or tied up or completed, or lessons learned, or any loose ends with anything. The universe, God, source, divine, is requiring that all of that be tied up over the first portion of 2025 before moving into 2025, the beginning of 2025, moving into the latter portion of 2025. Because of all of these shifts, all of the planets will be shifting in 2025, which is just unspeakable. And especially all the large gas planets will be moving. So it is set to be life-changing in 2025, human race changing, revolutionary, but we can't do that without a clean slate. Potentially one way that you were thinking or feeling changes. There's an emotional change. And this does say home. Maybe you're traveling, maybe the wheel's turning to where you're able to travel somewhere or make a decision that feels more like home to you, Sagittarius. Let's look at what we're dealing with here. All right. What is the safe travel, good fortune, and home? Coming to a destination, maybe, like finally making it back home, making it back to where you feel like back home to yourself, or back home to traveling back to a place that where you felt like you could grow, maybe. I believe that maybe that is because we just talked about sitting in where we feel comfortable, yet that seems to be the direction, the progression of where you're going. But I think for you, the uncomfortability comes in the transition and not in the destination, where others are just sitting in that destination of comfort. The destination for you is the vulnerability in that. Hopefully that makes sense. I think that it's just the North and South node working in a different manner for you. Yep, celebrating friendships, reunions, maybe in this going a certain direction will create this union or this getting back together or uniting with somebody. This is very much a decision time, a judgment point, an awakening of needing to go a different direction, knowing that your path is changing, but taking it in a very methodical manner, I'm hearing. Okay, so tell me about the Knight of Pentacles. I change my mind all the time just because I go with what I'm feeling. So I'm going to finish this out with a modified Celtic cross on the rest of these traditional tarot here, just to get a better idea. At the head of the matter, what is happening currently is either contemplating there is a relationship or friendship or a reunion, a uniting of some type of situation or with a relationship. And this is where you're finding, or this is where you're hoping you will find the entire package. This is what you believe the direction of going will take you to. There's a form of resistance somewhere within this though. Now this could be from, let's look at this like that. What I want to say is there's an inner circle, even though that this is a crossroads. I didn't even think about these cards when I did this, but it all makes sense. There has been a crossroads in your past, most recently, that you might still be transitioning over to. But then even with that decision, you've come to where there's another crossroads, but it's a different change. This is more of like being methodical, making a decision. You see the green here. Can you see the green? Oh, sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get used to this new angle. Is that a little better? Can you see that a little better? Oh yeah, that went right there. That happened for a reason. And I'll tell you that everything that happens, I try to observe and use for reflection as a sign or symbol, because every single thing in your life, down to the door handle of a door to a huge event that's happening in the world, are symbols and the way that the universe talks to us. As you saw when I moved those over, this one, it kind of confused me there for a second because I didn't remember where it went, if it was there or there. And so it took me a minute to catch up. So I think that there's a little lag in you making this decision. You're slow to make the decision, but you're making it because you want to go in a direction that is more fulfilling for you, that is more in alignment with where you feel like you are whole. But there is a pull. Maybe there's an old or a different challenge, meaning maybe it is hard to leave your home state, or it's hard to leave the home you grew up in, or it's hard to leave a family home, or maybe you're going off to college, or maybe you have just you are taking a new path on a career and you've got to move for a job. You're leaving a place where there was stability and there was a sense of learning and growing to a point, but then you knew you needed to change your direction. But it's still, it's a little challenging, and there's still those little ties that hold on as you're moving. And I think that that's why there's still going to be those emotional wounds or emotional ties that you're still trying to tie up, and making that last little trek into where you ultimately want your life to go, what direction, what path, where you believe that your future is leading to. Now, I do say that past, future, and present are all happening at the same time. These feelings could be happening to you still right now, as you are already seeing some things with this awakening, seeing some things that are starting to lay into place. It's like the puzzle piece, right? You start to put the puzzle together, you're still missing pieces, and you're focused in currently putting it together and looking at what it was, but looking at what it's becoming, and then looking at what it's going to end up being, what the final picture is going to be by putting those final puzzle pieces together. And that's why puzzles are extremely symbolic of life, right? And everything is really symbolic, but puzzles for me seems to be something that, in fact, I was going to have this channel be something related around puzzles. In fact, I think I made my bio, there was something in there about puzzle pieces and finding the missing puzzle pieces. And that's very true for your sign, Sagittarius. I think it's just the last little puzzle pieces of what you are trying to put together and arrange. This could be within your soul. This could be 5D. This could be higher commitments, elevating or leveling up, ascending, new growth, things that you've learned from the past, lessons that have been learned are ascending you to a higher vibration, a higher learning, a higher understanding, and more opportunities. That's why you have good fortune, 3 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, and 9 of Cups. Look at that line of currency for you right now. That is incredible. Some of the best cards to ever come out in the tarot deck. Your alignment is set up right now in January to be one of the most fortunate periods of alignment through reunion. This could be reunion within just yourself. You're just gonna feel like the optimism part, the challenging of the optimism that I talked about in the beginning might be what these tears are from just being able to change is hard, and being able to change from a situation that maybe you had been used to. And this is going to really be like a time period of really coming to an acceptance of what that was, and that you're okay with realigning to a new destination for yourself. And so it's this struggle and this pull between old memories and feelings and change, and this drive that you just want to get there. And that's what the energy is making you with, not only the Mars and Cancer, but it's also with the North Node shift, and then obviously all the other leftover energies. The universe is making you hang there and go within and heal what needs to be healed, wrap all this up, be okay with it, and then take your time to be able to set a course that is in more of a patience type of energy, where you are standing your ground, standing up for yourself, protecting your energy, protecting your fortunes, protecting your families. But there's been this resistance, and I think that resistance is that hang there. Sag doesn't like to hang there. They're focused, they're hunters, they're go-getters, just like with Leo being powerful and Aries being the leader. That's the fire signs are fire signs for a reason, and that reason is because you're good at it. And what you're not good at is stagnancy. What you're not good at is hanging there. And I think that's exactly what the universe is having you do, because in doing so and accepting and making and coming to terms and closing up and fulfilling what you need to fulfill karmically and within yourself, and self-love, value, and worth, it's going to give you a stronger foundation as you move forward, which then becomes where you feel comfortable. Being out of sorts or in a weakened place, no matter what it was, there's probably some good things from the past. There were probably good people to be around, but then there were some really negative and toxic people to be around. There were some good experiences, but then there were some really negative experiences. There was just this paradox. It was a paradox, or just a contrast that was happening, that you got to see, that the universe wanted you to see. But now it's time to let that go and find out where the real alignment, and take from what had happened in the past and those situations and pull them into alignment with what you're wanting, your wishes fulfilled, what you're wanting for your life and for your movement forward, and then protecting that. And there might be resilience from, or like resistance from other people, but this also could be internally within you. Let's find out what this 9 of Wands is. But there is going to be a drive forward for this commitment and dedication that you are starting to align with by choice, but also with the universe. So what is this so overly optimistic. 3 feminine energies could be involved in this resistance. This is Leo energy. I'm just trying to listen for the channeling to, hold on just a second. Oh, I wanted one more, but 2 more came out. So let's see why 2 more. It was just exactly what I was saying. Thank you, universe. You're so good to me. So overly optimistic, right? About this drive forward, right? Was something, it was out of balance. Either this push forward, but you got stuck, right? Or it was just maybe becoming complacent in this place in the past, thinking that that was the best, that you like settling. This was like settling. And the universe is pushing you into a place to say, no, you are worth more than just settling for what this is. This was a learning platform, and now you're on a growing platform. Dream team, because it's going to take you to a place that you couldn't ever, good fortune, you couldn't even imagine what the opportunities that were going to stand before you in the past, as long as you were in the settling area. There's a dream team, and what's the resistance? I asked what the resistance or who the resistance was. There was probably there might have been 3 feminine energies who you potentially thought that you'd be able to work with, or this could have been colleagues or maybe family members, a friend group. And that could be creating this resistance. Potentially they were toxic, right? They didn't want to share you. This is third house energy. Hopefully you guys can see that. And I'm not just talking to myself here. They wanted to hold you back. They didn't want to see you grow, because then that would have been something that, because it says troubled coalition here, but this would have been, oh, look at what they're doing. Sag, I didn't even realize this. Look at this. This is a puzzle. We were just talking about that. Do you see how perfect tarot is? I love it. That validates exactly what I said. And when you come across something towards the end of a reading that validates what you've been talking about, it means that the universe approves and that your reading is a good reading. It ties it all together. So there's our puzzle that I was talking about. So I'm really happy with that. The leaving behind, though, letting go of a toxic friend group right there. Letting go of a toxic friend group. The resistance could be from this friend group and letting them go. And that's been hard, because maybe there were some things, maybe there were hopes of being with this dream team of feminine energies, or that you thought that this group was going to support you in your endeavors to grow, that they had your best interest, and that didn't seem to be. And there's that confusion. It didn't seem, and the confusion of why these people, this group, families, colleagues, friends, you were overly optimistic that this was going to work out, because something didn't work out here, right? And leaving them behind has caused you to not fully accept and move forward, graduate, graduate from that situation. You've just got those little loose ends that you're trying to tie up as you're starting to actually figure out and put the puzzle pieces together, because right now in this energy, as it feeds over, it's just confusing for you, but you are starting to put the puzzle pieces together, so that's the resistance, right? The confusion that was created in you wanting to move forward. They were holding you back somehow, in some way. Maybe they stole pieces of the puzzle. They didn't tell you all the information. They didn't give you all the truths. They were half truths. Whatever the situation was here, it is showing that you will get beyond that. Even if this is January's energy, you might not be here yet. You could still be right over here, and you haven't traveled this way yet. Maybe you're still just trying to make the decision, because it is Knight of Pentacles. It's like snail slow light. You might hit this energy like February, March, just the beginning of January, but it is going to tie up those loose ends like the universe wants you to do, through standing up for yourself, getting the bigger picture, having all the puzzle pieces. And then at that point, it's going to bring an awakening of where you feel whole. And then you're going to be able to ground yourself with this 8 of Pentacles into your side hustle, into yourself, into starting maybe being more committed to a family or a different friend group, or just a job, or a relationship somehow. But that work and dedication that maybe was too confusing over here, that wasn't happening, is finally going to start building on a solid foundation. So just read, when you get to this energy, if you haven't gotten here yet, there's going to be a huge push of energy that flows through you, and it's going to be you're going to feel good. You're going to feel so positive. You're going to feel stable enough to be able to heal from this and drive for this at the right time. And you're going to be able to accept the hang there as you are transitioning that. It's like, I'm thinking of, I gave an example on one of the reads, and it's coming up again as I was doing this. It's like taffy being pulled, right? And it's this resistance, and it's pulling it, but it's trying to finish the product. It's trying to create the beauty of the end result. And that's what I feel like you're going to feel in this energy when you reach it, if you haven't yet, that resistance is lessening, because the product has become what it was meant to be. The product is created to be that sweet taffy in the end, the candy, the, you know, the sweetness at the end of it. It did its job with the resistance. Even though it was resisting, even though there was all these problems, you still made it to this point. And at this point, you see the light at the end of the tunnel and you're like, I can drive. I'm ready for this next step in my life to get to where I feel at home within myself. Over here, it was just lines of direction, right? This isn't very fulfilling. There's not much to this. There's not a lot of meat to the bones. There's not a lot of substance, right? But then you get this directional, right? Which, if you look at these, I don't know why I put that down. If you look at these two colors, if you were to mix these two colors, most likely it would end up being that color, which I find fascinating. I'm not surprised because the universe is perfect, but that is amazing. As you make this decision in going a different direction, traveling a new path, right? You're going to go from a 3 to a 4 to finally finding, and this is not a destination point. This is just a destination point. This is not a destination point overall. This is just a destination point of this new path, this new leg of your journey, this new phase of your journey. And look at it going from something that was, it's like it lifted weights. It has more substance to it. It has if something was going to be built on this foundation and something that was going to be built on this foundation, which one would survive? Right now, this one would fall. This one, it would stay because it has more substance. It has more of a foundation. That energy for you, Sag, is just gorgeous. It might be uncomfortable, but you can't have growth without feeling uncomfortable and without that resistance and that fight. The diamonds in Virgo's read, it's the forming of the diamonds, and yours is forming the taffy along with somebody else's. I can't remember whose read I said that in, but beautiful. Now, I do love that. It's not going to be without challenges. It's not going to be without those days you want to cuss the universe and throw your middle fingers up, but flow with it. Just let it be. Go with whatever happens, and you'll start seeing the sweetness until your next taffy pull or your next learning experience. Hopefully that's helped you guys. You guys have a great January, and I will see you and connect with you on the next video. Take care. Bye.